a tone. Everybody, welcome back. It is ThaGod Obeng, and you can follow me at ThaGod Obeng on Instagram. It's at ThaGod God underscore Obeng on Instagram, and you can go there and get more daily downloads of great inspiration. I just really wanted to bring this powerful, enlightening, revealing message to you today. And today, this topic is titled 5 of the Ways You Didn't Know About Raising Your Vibration. I'm going to say that again. 5 ways you didn't know about on how to raise your vibration. And how to raise your vibration. Okay? And so, hold on. And so, we're going to talk about that. And so one of the ways, we're just going to jump right in this because I don't want to prolong this. But what I do want you to understand is that there are so many different ways, that simplified ways, that you can raise your vibration levels. There are many different simplified ways that you can raise your vibrational levels. And, and those ways are easy to identify. Simple things like running, jogging, going into nature, grounding. What are some other ways like that? You know what I'm saying? Meditating. These are simple ways to raise your vibration. But there are some other ways, 5 other ways that you didn't know about that I discovered. I'm not saying I'm the founder, but I've discovered this for myself, that these are ways to raise your vibration. I want to bring them 5 ways to you. Number 1, for instance, for 5 minutes a day. First, for 5 minutes a day, I want you to practice closing your eyes for 5 minutes and focus on your favorite color. So for 5 minutes a day, close your eyes and focus on your favorite color. Okay? Reason why is because colors have vibrations to them too. And so when you are closing your eyes and you are focused on your favorite color, my favorite color is blue. Okay, so blue be my favorite color, and you want to stare at that color with eyes closed. You want to stare at that color until that color begins to dissolve itself within your being, within yourself, because what you're seeing, and you're seeing this color blue, like me, I would see the color blue until it dissolves, until it became obsolete, until it dissolved its frequency, and until it, until it dissolved itself into my frequency field. And that's how it becomes a vibrational a level, a raising of your vibration levels, because the colors begin to dissolve itself. It's like looking at an x-ray of your arm or something, so you want to see the color begin to look like the x-ray of a picture of your arm, where that picture that looks like an x-ray, it looks kind of like really holographic or something like that. You want to look at the color. You want to see the color start to dissipate in what you're seeing with eyes closed. You want to see that color dissipate and become obsolete, kind of like the x-ray looking very translucent and becoming but it's really obsolete. It looks like there's something there, but it's not there, but it's really in you. You understand? And so you're really just allowing that color to dissolve itself in your frequency field. And that's how you raise your vibration level, because colors have vibrations to them. This is a fact, okay? They have vibration to them. So when you are focused on your favorite color, it resonates, and then it becomes into your frequency field, raising thus your vibrational level. Okay, number 2. Here's another way that I would tell you to raise your vibrational levels. And that is holding your breath for 30 seconds. Now, why 30 seconds? Because we understand that 30 seconds is the time where the brain begins to correlate to the body, respond to the body, and say, we need to find oxygen from somewhere else. And so holding your breath for 30 seconds, what that does is it releases, what they call like cortisone, which is stress hormones. It releases cortisone in the brain, and it starts to go into panic mode to find oxygen from other places. Now, because you're not in a panic place, you're not drowning per se, but what that does when you're not in a place of panic, because what that does actually holding your breath, when the brain is trying to correlate it as a stress, as a panic, as a find oxygen from somewhere else. See, what ends up happening is that now it comes adrenaline, and so the body starts to release adrenaline, and adrenaline begins to run through the blood cells, and it begins to put this fear, or this what they call fight or flight adrenaline in you. And so, like, when you're running from a dog, let's say you're running from a dog, right? When you're running from a dog, you go into fight or flight mode. You go into fear, or you go into excitement mode, because that's what adrenaline does for us. It brings about fear, and it brings about excitement. You understand? And so, or excitement. And so what adrenaline can also do is three things. Adrenaline makes you become it makes you become faster, smarter, and resourceful. See, when the dog is chasing you, you become faster. You run faster. When a dog is chasing you, you become smarter. You're looking for a more safe way out. Your brain begins to click faster. When you begin to run faster, your brain clicks faster, telling you to look for a safe way, somewhere to jump onto, a car to jump onto, somebody's house to run into, and you become very resourceful. You become knowing how to make sure that you're not running into a dead end. You understand what I'm saying? You're not running into a dead end, trapping yourself with the dog. You understand what I'm saying? You're not putting yourself in a dead end space, like you may be running on a dead end street and there's no way out. So you become resourceful. You start looking for ways to get out of that situation. And so that's what adrenaline can do when it releases cortisone. But because there's no panic mode happening, the cortisone then becomes, because you're not actually drowning in water, and you got to actually produce adrenaline so that you could run and get out of that situation and swim to save your life, because you're not in a panic situation. But when you are in a panic situation, you become faster, smarter, and resourceful. But when you're holding your breath for 30 seconds, that cortisone gets released, but it turns into adrenaline, which it could be fear or it could be excitement. But you want to turn it into excitement. You want to make sure that adrenaline that's being released is exciting adrenaline. And so you're putting yourself in situations where, it's raising your vibrational levels. And you're like, okay, that adrenaline, like when you are either running for your life from a dog, or you're jumping out of an airplane, and it's thrilling. It's exciting. That's still adrenaline. You see, the body cannot determine adrenaline from either fear or from excitement. So you can decide in the brain which one it is. Is it fear or is it exciting? And so you turn that adrenaline rush that comes after holding your breath for 30 seconds, you turn it into exciting adrenaline. And then you use it to raise your vibrational levels. Yeah, and it feels good to do that. Okay? Next is drinking extreme cold water. Drinking extremely cold water is another way to raise your vibrational levels. These are 5 ways you did not know about how to raise your vibrational levels. Drinking extremely cold water is still the equivalent of jumping in an ice cold freezing lake, a sub-zero freezing lake. It's still the equivalent of jumping into a lake. Why do I say that? Well, because you're only feeling the sensation of cold water one or two ways. The only phenomenon that changes here is sensation. When you jump into an ice cold lake, you understand what I'm saying? The sensation changes from drinking freezing ice cold water. And so when you jump into an ice cold lake, it raises your vibrations, like, ooh, you're like, ooh, but it's like exciting. It's like, oh. It gets all exciting and stuff, and it releases this vibration, this energy. It's like, oh my God, it feels good, but it don't feel good because it's shocking to the body. And so you're either expressing or feeling and witnessing this phenomenon in one or two ways. Only one or two ways, really the same, but they just switched a little bit. So that's either from body to nerve or nerve to body. So when you're jumping into an ice cold lake, you're witnessing the sensation of body to nerve. When you're drinking ice freezing cold water, you're witnessing the sensation of nerve to body. You understand what I'm saying? Still, the brain can't make no difference. The sensation is still the same, switch either way. nerve to body, or body to nerve, or nerve to body. It doesn't matter. Ice cold water, freezing ice cold water. And you know this when you're doing this. You notice this when you're running. You're running. You're a jogger or you're a marathon runner and you drink some very good ice cold water. It rejuvenates and revitalizes. Revitalizes. See the word vital in there? It revitalizes the body. It brings new sensations. It brings a fresh new. It raises the vibration level of sensationalism, and you're feeling it again, just as if you would. Just as if you were to jump into a cold, ice cold lake. Same thing. You understand what I'm saying? It's revitalizing truly. When you're jumping into an ice cold lake, it is revitalizing the body. You understand what I'm saying? So witness it in that way. That's number 3. Drinking extremely cold water. Number 4 is going to be daydreaming. Daydreaming is another way to raise the vibration levels. Now, we think that daydreaming is bad. We say don't daydream, in school or at work, you be daydreaming. But what happens when you're daydreaming? Daydreaming is not considered bad, but when you're at work, it's like snap out of it. When you're at school, it's like snap out of it. But daydreaming brings about senses. It opens our senses, our emotional, our heart chakra when we're daydreaming, because we're either fantasizing about a loved one, we're fantasizing about a goal or a dream we want to accomplish. We're fantasizing about these things, and our sensations begin to raise up the levels of love within ourselves, and our heart chakra opens up and we express ourselves more expressingly. And then we begin to love ourselves more in this manner. This is beautiful. Daydreaming. So spend 5-10 minutes sometimes daydreaming about a fantasy, about a loved one. Listen, the brain, there's a study that said that the brain never forgets. And so when you want to daydream, you want to remember things. Call to memory the things that you once were doing, and you love to do, the things you love to do. We're going to go deeper into that, the brain never forgetting something in the last one. The brain never forgets in the very last one. But in daydreaming, you're thinking about a loved one. And all of a sudden, you really want to see that person now. You call that person, you text that person, you say, hey, I want to see you today. Or, hey, I just calling you to let you know I'm thinking about you, what you're doing. I miss you. Through daydreaming. Through daydreaming does this happen. And so we become very fond of ourselves through love. We become very fond of the people that we love through daydreaming, through the dreams and the aspirations that we want to do through daydreaming, because we're looking at those goals and those dreams and those aspirations as something to be in love with, to aspire to, and to inspire others to achieve goals and dreams and love relationships of their own. And that's what daydreaming does. So spending time to daydream here and there a little bit raises those vibrational levels. It opens up that heart chakra, and it puts you back into that space of love and gift giving and service to other people. And you're just great at being that kind of a person when you are daydreaming about things you love to do. So spend some time doing that. And the last one, my favorite one, the last one is challenge yourself, beloved. Challenge yourself. Challenge yourself. See, remember when you were younger, you used to be able to do certain things like backflip, cartwheels, somersaults. You used to be able to do a lot of things when you were young. Remember that? Remember you used to be able to pop wheelies on a bicycle, skateboard, do tricks. Challenge yourself. Remember you used to could speak 2 languages and you used to could speak 3 languages. Remember that? Now, what happened to that? Nothing happened to it. The only thing is you stop. But guess what? The brain does not forget a thing. And this is what I said was going to go back into this. There's a study that said the brain never forgets anything it's ever did or experienced. The brain never forgets. Only we move away. You understand? We move away from these things. We put in the past, or we try to move past these experiences. But when you've lost someone, you never truly get past it. You may get past the pain, but you can never get past the thought of it. The memory will always be there. And even the experience will always be there. Whether you want to experience the pain or not is your choice. But the experience of going through, I lost a son. And I still, every year around Christmas, at Christmas, I experience the same feeling, the vibrational feeling that I went through that day I lost him. Now, Am I in my space or my place crying my eyes out to death? Absolutely not. Why not? Because now I can recall to memory, the good moments I had with him, the loving moments I had with him, the feel good expressions that were expressed through him, from him, by him, through me, from me, by me, to each other. And so I call into that. And we can call anything. If you knew how to backflip and you don't know how to, and you stop backflipping, but you say, I'm too old, I can't do that, stop lying to yourself. You truly can. The mind never forgets. The brain never can. The brain never forgets what is in everything it's ever experienced and everything it's ever been through. The brain never forgets. The brain can't forget anything. So if you knew how to speak a second language, go back to challenge yourself to speak that language. There's something fascinating and exciting and naughty and also secrecy about speaking another language amongst people who don't know how to speak that language. It feels naughty. It feels secrecy. It feels like you're doing something good. It feels like you're being a little child, being sneaky, getting away with something when you can speak a second language to another person that speaks that same language around people who cannot speak that language at all. There's something naughty about it. It feels secrecy. It feels like you're covering something up and you're being covert, but really you're not. But it's raising the vibrational levels of feeling happy and exclusive to this club of only we can speak this language in the midst of people that can't. It feels good to be able to do that. You understand? And if you don't believe me, the brain can remember anything. Go watch the movie Rememory. Go watch the movie Rememory. The brain never forgets anything it's ever been through or experienced. So if you don't believe that you can still speak a second language when you once could, or if you don't believe you can do backflips and somersaults and cartwheels again when you once could, if you don't believe you can skateboard and jump ramps and pop willies and all that stuff that you used to be able to do when you were a kid, run fast, all that. If you don't believe you can't do that anymore because of age, you're lying to yourself. And you truly can. Now, I'm not saying when you're 90 or 100 years old, you can't do that. But I am saying you can still run as fast as you say you can at 90 years old. Now, you can say to yourself and be realistic. I can't run a 40 in 4 seconds. I can't do that. Okay? No, you cannot. But how fast can you run? Is how fast you can run. Oh, did you hear what I said? I said, but how fast can you run that you say to yourself is how fast you can run. So if you say to yourself, I can run this fast, you would be able to run that fast. My beloved, that does it. You know, I'm glad that this is over. So challenge yourself. Challenge yourself, okay? Do that. Guarantee that you will be raising the vibrational levels. Go through those 5 steps again. You understand what I'm saying? And you will be raising your vibrational levels. Well, let me go through those 5 steps one more time with you. Okay? For 5 minutes a day, close your eyes and stare at your favorite color. Number 2, hold your breath for 30 seconds. Number 3, drink extremely cold water. Number 4, daydream. And number 5, challenge yourself. Let me know what you think about that. Sorry for the background noise. I'm at a park. I don't want to do this video again because of the noise and do somewhere where it's silent. Sometimes you got to get the elements, baby, and this is what you get. But you got to stay focused, stay mentally disciplined and focused, all right? Atone, I am. I love you. I love me. I love us, baby. Peace out, beloved.